Hi, I'm Ian from Untitled Trekking, and I'm going to do a new Kilimanjaro video. It's been 10 years since I did the first Kilimanjaro packing video. I think that one has over 115,000 views. Hopefully this one will get the same and hopefully help you with your packing for Kilimanjaro. I've been up the mountain over 40 times. My goal is to hit 50. Some of our guides have climbed 500 times. Our head guide, who was voted Kilimanjaro's #1 guide in 2019, has been up over 260 times. So we have an amazing team on the ground now. After 10-15 years of running trips in Kilimanjaro, we've helped over 3,000 people to the summit. And when we put all this gear together, we send you an itemized kit list. So you'll have an itemized kit list of all the items, so you can start ticking off exactly what you have, what you need. Some of these items you can rent from us. And we'll send you that dossier with all that information if you sign up. So what I'm going to bring now is similar to what I brought 10 years ago, but I'll go through it again just to show everyone what I will bring on the mountain. So first of all, I have my backpack. I'm a big fan of Deuter, more back support, more waist support. This one is a 36 litre. Sometimes I bring a smaller one, sometimes I bring a bigger one. It really depends on you, it depends on what trip I'm on. But I need to be able to fit a certain amount of items in here, from rain gear, sun cream, camera, hats, layers, etc. I want to be able to fit it all in here, so that's important. So this is the backpack that I have. I also have a smaller backpack that I bring a laptop in, that I bring extra gear in. And in this one I can leave at the hotel. If I have any spare travel clothes or safari clothes, or anything that I need spare, this can stay at the hotel with that extra gear in it. So I'll leave that here. So in this backpack, I'm going to have rain gear. I have rain pants, rain jacket. It's always good to have rain pants that have they're easy to access. You can just strip them off really easy, put them on really easy. If you're on the summit night and you needed the extra wind protection, you definitely want to have good rain gear, not only for the rain, but for the wind too. Last time I was on Kilimanjaro, it was -10 Fahrenheit on the first climb. Ridiculously cold, super cold, really hard wind coming across the mountain. I went back up 9 days later on the summit and it was 15 degrees, so much more comfortable temperature. So you never know what you're going to get. So there's anyone that says it's going to be like this on the summit. You never know. You need to be prepared for everything. I've seen it in all different conditions: high winds, freezing cold, warm. You never know. You want to be prepared. But this rain gear I'll have with me. It'll go in my backpack. It'll stay in my backpack every day that I'm on the hike. So I'll put that there. The next thing that I'll have with me is trekking pole or trekking poles. I like these adjustable sections, much better than the screw-in ones that seem to have more, just break much easier. I like the cork handle. So good, essential, must have, 1 or 2, whatever you're comfortable with. Most people will bring 2. Have these with you every day on the trail. So that'll go in my backpack. From there, I've kind of switched boots over the years, but I use different boots for different trips. But you can use anything. Thicker upper leather boots. You can use whatever you want. These are La Sportiva. I really like the Tarango GTX boot. These are fine. They're super warm, more rigid, which is what I prefer for coming downhill. Ankle support for sure. And then when you're coming down on the summit, there's so much grit and rock that can get into your boots, so definitely having the ankle support and a bigger boot is really, really important. So I will put these in my backpack for the flight, and I'll bring some layers with me in my backpack on the plane, just in case the bigger bag doesn't arrive on the first day. So I'll have backpack, spare clothes, layers, trekking pants, all that stuff with me, and I'll have these in my backpack. So from there, when I get to camp, I usually have any sort of trail shoe, tennis shoe, doesn't really matter. It's nice to be able to put them inside something if they are dirty, if it rains in the camp and then it's mucky. It's always nice to have something to be able to keep this away from your the rest of your gear or anything that's in your duffel bag. So this is my duffel bag. This one is 120 litre. You can have 100, 120. I just like to have more space and more options. And I don't want to have a different bag for all the different trips that I go on. So this one does me whether I'm in Aconcagua or on Cotopaxi or in Ecuador or anywhere I'm going. The 120 works perfect for me. So more comfort as I get older. This is a luxury map thermarest. It's a 3-inch one. It's like sleeping on a bed. Pretty big. It can be squashed down a little bit further. Probably overkill for Kilimanjaro, but then you spend half of your time in the tent trying to sleep, get rest. So you need to consider which thermarest to bring. We rent these on the ground, so you wouldn't even have to bring one, and it can be carried outside of the duffel bag if there's not enough space, if you rent them from us. But duffel bag, this is what I will have on the mountain, and I'll put this in my duffel bag. We can help you kind of pick out a different one or something that's a little bit smaller, or other options. There's tons of options out there. In terms of my sleeping bag, I always bring a 0 degree Fahrenheit sleeping bag. I definitely want it to be compressed down is the best, because I can just tighten these up really tight and I can get this down to really, really small. But 0 degree Fahrenheit, I want to be comfortable in the tent. I want to be I'm in there from 7, 8 p.m. till 6 o'clock in the morning. So I want to be comfortable in the tent at all times. I also bring a thermarest pillow, easy to blow up, inflatable. Again, comfort in the tent, always useful. So I'll put that in. So in terms of hydration on the mountain, obviously hydration at altitude is critical for success, for your safety, for all aspects of the trip. And as you go higher, you dehydrate more. So it's really important to be drinking water. We have 3 hot meals per day, 3 3-course meals per day with soup. So I kind of factor that into my hydration, but I always have a 2-liter with me in my backpack, and it's full. In the evening, if you're going to be taking 4-hour hydration purification tablets, you want to fill all your water up in the evening, and then you have access to drink water in the morning. Also, if you have boiled water, these are usually, we bring these into the big mess tent, put them in the side pockets, the staff will fill them up with boiling water. It'll warm up my sleeping bag. I also have water to drink, or I can fill up my Camelback with a little bit of this the next day. So you've got options, but I definitely want to be drinking like 4 or 5 liters of water every day. And then these Nalgene's, I like to have one wider base, one shorter base, easier to drink out of this one. But we need these for the summit night, because the Camelback can potentially freeze higher, not necessarily straight away on the summit attempt. But these will be filled up with boiled water as you head up towards the summit. And then you've got access to hotter water. It won't freeze on the summit night. So definitely having one of these or 2 of these, and that's a bigger discussion that we can have with you, carrying these up on the summit night. But definitely good for keeping your sleeping bag warm and keeping you warm as you get into the tent in the evening time. So other things that I'll have, I mean, over time, I mean, I have an altitude watch. I have people are bringing Garmin watches to track the days on the mountain, etc., etc. So that's a personal choice. I also want a head torch with spare batteries for the summit night, or if I'm in the tent or getting up to go to the bathroom at night. I have a head torch and I have spare batteries with me. And I always check it just before I go to like right at the high camp before going to the summit, just to make sure that everything is working and ready to go for the top. So head torch, have my watch. I have a bigger medical kit, a range of different medical stuff for me personally, from ibuprofen through to antibiotics to congestion to cold and flu. So we have all of this listed in our dossier, what each piece of medical kit that you need, and then we have a bigger medical kit that would have other, everything that you would need on the trip. So the guides are carrying that separately. But it's also good to have your own personal kit, have all the medication you need with you. Some of it can go in the duffel bag, and then some of it you might need to carry with you. So I always have this in my day pack, just in case. Toiletries in here, I'm going to have everything from toothpaste, toothbrush, baby wipes, hand sanitizer. I got a hand sanitizer hanging off my bag, just so I can keep my hands clean. And then everything that I would need on the trip. But I don't bring too much, but anything that you kind of feel like you need, whether it's feminine products or anything that you want to keep yourself clean and on the trip, pack it in something like this, keep it small. We also bring hot water to your tent in the morning and the afternoon, so you can get cleaned up. But that's what I'll have in a toiletry pack. I also have a quick drying towel, just if I'm washing my face, brushing my teeth, whatever I need. Something small, something easy to dry, super important. Inside also, we have private toilet tents on our trips, but I also always have like some sort of toilet paper in my backpack all the time, just in case I need access to it. So I put that in there. So when I think about on the mountain clothing that I need, there's a few things that are super important for me personally, but you can decide what you want. So I like to put stuff in different stuff sacks. So like I have my red stuff sack. I know when I take it out of my bag, that's my gear that I have in camp every day. So in here, I arrive into camp, I want to get cleaned up, I get my hot water, I get my baby wipes, and then I can switch into new underwear. This is merino wool, so it's antimicrobial, much better than wearing cotton. I have a spare t-shirt if I'm lower down, whether it's on Camp 1 on La Mosha route or the last day, a t-shirt can be used. I have these are like fleece warm pants, super light, and I just wear these every day in the camp when I arrive. And then I have a longer sleeve top, which I can wear and sleep in. But this is kind of my camping group, and sometimes I just have a spare pair of gloves in there, depending on where I am and want access to them. So then I have this in this stuff sack. I also have like an underwear stuff sack. So I have a couple of these for different things. So I have spare underwear, 3 or 4 pairs of merino, 7 or 8 or 9 pairs, depending on what you want to bring. If they're small, light, bring them, gives you comfort, super important. But I'll have, and actually in this one for camp, I'll have a spare pair of socks too. So I'll have that in there. So I have 1 pair of socks for every day in the camp. And then I have a bunch of other types of socks, like lighter socks, just trekking socks, usually 4 or 5 pairs of those, with 3 or 4 pairs of underwear. And that's what I'll have these, and I know that those are in a different bag, so I know to grab these. Alongside that, I have all my summit gear in 1 bag, because I'm not going to need the bigger gloves. I'm not going to need some of these things until I get higher on the mountain. So I have a whole set of clothes ready to go. I have my 260 merino base layer, thicker base layer for the summit night. I have my thicker 260 merino base layer for the summit night, and I keep these separate. I just wear those on high on the mountain, and I keep them in a separate bag, so I don't even have to go near this until I get higher on the mountain. I have my summit socks, thick merino wool socks. I have my polar buff, so I'll have with the fleece lining. I'll keep that for the summit. I like a lighter hat on my head going up. Some people like a thicker, warmer hat for the summit night. You just have to be careful that you regulate your temperature. I don't really necessarily feel the cold as much as other people, so I like to have a light beanie, wool based. Just that's what I will wear going up on the top, with the buff over my head to keep my face covered. I also have liner gloves that I'll wear quite a lot. I use these on the Barranco wall. If it's cold in the morning, I'll wear them going up to the summit. So if I have to take off my bigger gloves, taking pictures or doing anything, I can do that without having to expose my hands continually to the cold. And then really it's up to you. Some people like really thicker gloves, like even thicker than these, like Black Diamond guide gloves. These are North Face, really warm ski gloves. and then there's lighter ones depending on how you feel the cold. But I can tell you, with the lack of oxygen running around your body, the oxygen is pulled away from your extremities, from your feet, from your hands. And even if it's not even that cold, just the lack of oxygen at 18, 19,000 feet is enough to make your hands feel pretty cold, even if it's only 15 degrees. If it's even colder, you definitely need the bigger gloves for sure. So it's always better to be prepared for the worst case scenario. Like I said, I've been up there when it's minus 10 Fahrenheit, and then a week later it's like 15. So you never know what you're going to get. So I would always recommend bigger gloves. Then you have liner gloves. And if you really want to, you can bring another pair too. But I would bring these, and then I have all of these kind of separate so that they're, and actually I can just go in here so I know exactly where they are. In addition to the polar buff, I bring just a regular buff that I'll put around my neck to keep the sun off me during the day. I'll have that with me, and I also have kind of gravitated towards something like this, a really lightweight top with a hood on it. So I can put this up over my head. If I'm wearing this hat, I can keep myself really covered from the sun. And this is just a really versatile piece, super lightweight, and just keeps the sun off me. So I have these two options. I always have these with me in my backpack. Depending on the day and depending on how sunny it is. Sometimes it can be rainier, don't need it. A little bit colder, don't need it. But if it's sunny and the sun is blasting, good to have extra sun coverage for sure. In addition to that pullover top, people don't like to wear these, but great coverage from the sun, better than this. Covers your ears, covers your neck, keeps the sun off your face. And I would bring one of these as well as something like this with me on the mountain. So addition to what I put in here for camp with a t-shirt, a spare t-shirt, I might use it. I might go straight to the longer one. I have a couple of other t-shirts, merino wool, short sleeve t-shirts. So I always have like 2 or 3 of these with me on the mountain at any time. And I can use them, I can rotate days when I use them and then switch them up. And I definitely need, I'll definitely be wearing these on the first day, second day, maybe even the third day, and even into the last day of the trip. So we on our 8-day trips, I'm using t-shirts 4 of the days, if not more. Even if we go up to the Lava Tower on day 4 and we're dropping into Barranco, I might use this with my light fleece. I have a vest. I have all these different options to layer with, but I definitely have 3 t-shirts with me. Okay, so I've covered head torch. I also have sunglasses to protect my eyes from the sun. I like category 4 glasses, lightweight. Some people like to have 2 pairs. I've seen people sit on them in the tent. It's always good to have these kind of separate, keep them in a harder box, so if you did sit on them, you're not going to break them. But I like just more protection. There's less protection at elevation and altitude from the sun, so always want to have category 4 glasses with me. I also have a battery pack with me, fully charged, ready to go. It'll charge satellite phones, satellite equipment, phones. It's also good to have your phone on battery mode and trying to turn it off at night when you don't need it, and even keeping it in the sleeping bag with you, just so you don't have to be running out of charge. And usually people have phones trading pictures and airdropping pictures, so it's good to have a battery pack. You can carry it with you if you want, or if you have enough weight limit in your bag, then you can put it in your duffel bag. That's up to you. So really for me on the mountain, I'm wearing shorts pretty much every day on the first 3 days of the trip. So you can wake up on the mountain, whether we're on the Moshe route, so on the Shira Plateau, it can be below freezing in the second night in the tent. But you wake up and it's cold, but then 2 hours later the sun is blasting, and I really want to be in shorts. So I like to wear shorts. I like to suck up a little bit of cold first thing in the morning, because I know it's going to get warmer later on. I usually use these for the first 3 days, and then I gravitate to the longer pants, longer trekking pants. 4-day on day 4 all the way through to the summit. And then for the summit, I have the base layer, Merino 260 with these. I also have my rain gear that I can put on top of that if it was windy or going to be colder. So that's what I will have on my bottom. I have some random extra stuff sacks with other things that I will bring with me for dirty clothes, for stuff like that. A mid layer on Kili, anything, even people wear this. This is probably overkill of a fleece, but something like this, any sort of hoodie with a fleece layer, mid layer, this is perfect because I can wear this on the summit night. I can wear this when I'm cold. If we stop to take a break and it's windy, I've got this layer. High on the mountain, I can wear merino with the vest. I've got this layer, and then I have my bigger layer. So I have my down layer, thicker, more baffling, more down. And then if I ever have to give my down jacket away, which will never happen again, I will be able to put this over all of these layers. That'll give me super warmth if I need it high on the mountain. If I don't need it, sometimes I don't even start with the big down. I'll be able to start with merino, vest, this, sometimes even liner gloves. I don't need the bigger gloves. That'll depend on the summit night. It'll depend on the time, if it's snowing, cold, windy. You've got to have all these layers depending on what's going to happen. Normally I shift up into the 4th layer, high on the mountain, right before dawn. It gets really cold. And then I switch even into my bigger gloves, depending on what's going on. But you want to have all these options with you. There's lots of other smaller things like hats for around camp and bits and pieces that you can, extra things you might want to bring. Those are up to you. We're going to give you a 35-page dossier with an itemized kit list, give you everything you need, but you do not want to leave out any of these key pieces of equipment. And you want to have all of this with you on the mountain. So if you want to sign up to one of our trips, we pretty much only do trips on the 8-day La Mosha route. We use Kosovo as our high camp, which gives a shorter ascent to the summit. The itinerary is giving us pretty much 100% success on all of our trips. We're running over 30 trips a year to Kilimanjaro. So if you want to get on one of our Kilimanjaro trips, you want to get access to our dossier and then the information we have about training, preparing, just get in touch, get on our website. It's iantaylertrekking.com. Email me directly. It's ian@iantaylertrekking.com, and I'd love to talk to you about climbing Kilimanjaro.